Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is a video I'm making entitled The Introvert Advantage, and it gets its name from this book actually called The Introvert Advantage: How to Thrive in an Extrovert World by Marty Olson Laney. And if you are an introvert or feel you may be one, I highly recommend that you pick that one up. It's a very good read, and I got it when I was around in my early 20s. I was still in college, and it really helped me kind of understand more about myself, being an introvert myself. I've always been an introvert. Like, first of all, introversion and extroversion is pretty much something that's hardwired. So most people are, a little bit of both in some respects, but the majority of people um, pretty much are more so one than the other. And I happen to be more introverted. And a lot of you guys may have heard the Myers-Briggs personality test, which is a measure of your introversion or extroversion or your personality type, basically. And I've taken that a number of times, and I always seem to score heavily on the introversion, and more specifically as an INTJ, which is a rare personality type. I think like less than 2% of the population is an INTJ, so it's definitely a very unique personality type, and which I guess is good and bad. But um, being an introvert, growing up, I always kind of felt a little different, I guess you could say, with respects to my surroundings. And for whatever reason, I didn't really feel like I had, much of a belonging or social, belonging with my peers or my surroundings. And I didn't really understand that. And when I checked that book out when I was in my 20s, in my early 20s, and it kind of helped me gain an understanding a little bit more about myself and why I feel the way or felt the way I did. And whereas before, before I read it, I thought I was just kind of like something was wrong with me, and and that may still be true. There may very well be something wrong with me, but it did help to me to get another understanding of things. And you know, um, as far as introversion and extroversion goes, a lot of people, you know, when you mention that, people when they think of an extrovert, they think of someone who is like outgoing, and someone who is very talkative, and an introvert is someone who's kind of like to themselves and quiet. And that is true, but more specifically, what really separates an introvert from an extrovert is where they draw their energy from. And the book explains it, but an introvert is someone who needs kind of time alone to get recharged or get their energy, whereas an extrovert is someone who gets energized from being around people and everything. So that's the primary difference. Someone like me, being in a big social scene or being around a group of people can be very, very draining after a long period of time. And after a while, I need to take some time off to kind of just chill out and recharge. So and then of course there's people that really can't be by themselves, and have to be around somebody all the time, and and that's the reason why, because they get drained by being alone. So it's pretty much a temperament difference, and I don't think it's really much about good or bad. It's just something that we're all hardwired to do. But I think society is a we live in a very like extrovert society, and it's not really surprising that is so, because 3/4 of the population is actually extroverted. So 1/4 of the population is an introvert, and so it's not surprising that this is a very extroverted society that we live in. And when you think about it, being seen as outgoing and friendly and sociable is really seen as a positive thing. And those are of course characteristics of an extrovert. Whereas kind of being to yourself, and introverts are more seen as being like kind of like reclusive, or maybe as aloof or standoffish, and those aren't really seen as positive. So I think that society puts a lot of pressure on introverts to kind of pick up extroverted qualities. And I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings on that because, growing up, my earliest memory, I guess, of me being an introvert is like when I was in first grade, and we had our, I guess, our recess time. It was just like a kind of social time, I guess you could say, where the kids were, we had time to just kind of like play and do whatever, and I just kind of wanted to chill out, and I'd go to the windows and just stare out the window during my time and just like totally like just like zone out or whatever I was doing, just like off of my own world. And my teacher would tell me, go play with the other kids, and I remember that, like, it really stuck with me because I was thinking, like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. And so she told me to go play with the other kids. I didn't really understand it, and another time it happened again, and she told me the same thing. So the second time it happened, that kind of like made me believe that I was doing something wrong, which I couldn't really understand because I wasn't bothering anybody and I wasn't doing anything. So that was kind of the first time, I realized that, um, what came natural to me wasn't really seen as a good thing. And, all throughout, growing up, I mean, I was never really a good, like, social at social things, like I wasn't really big into the cliques in high school and everything like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that, a lot of introverts that feel what I'm saying. But along with the negatives that are seen by society, as with being introverted, I think there's a lot of positives that get overlooked. And I know me in particular, I find that I'm able to focus better than what I think that an extrovert will be able to. And I think I have more so of an inner drive than a lot of people, because I'm more inner focused. And being inner focused means that I'm not so much focused on what everyone else around me is thinking. I'm more influenced by my own desires and my own goals, and so I don't get as distracted easily. And if I want to do something, then really, like, I don't really have anyone else influencing me and telling me not to do it, or pulling me in directions that gets me distracted. And I find that being a bodybuilder, that really is useful because a lot of people I talk to, they say they need help with working out. They need a partner. They need someone to motivate them and push them. And me, it's like exactly the opposite. I feel like someone being there would be a hindrance and a burden. So I often work out by myself, and I find that I'm able to push myself. And that's the reason. That's part of the reason I attribute, like, the success I've had. And, not just in bodybuilding, but anything that I've had, because it's pretty much coming from within myself. So I feel like extroverts should kind of learn to embrace introvert qualities just as much as we as introverts are expected to take on extrovert qualities. And I think if that were the case, and you'd find a lot more people that were happy and were achieving the goals and the things that they wanted to do. So with that being said, um, I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about it because it's something kind of personal to me, and it's just who I am. It doesn't make me a bad person or a shady person. It's just who I was born to be. So thank y'all for watching this video. I'm interested to you know see you guys' comments and what you think, and if you have any stories about growing up or being an introvert, I mean, please, by all means, post it. But till next time, you guys take care, and thanks for watching. Peace.